Okay, it's Colonel Cliff Soreen, and I'm going to give you your update. The Fermi paradox is basically the scientist's way of trying to explain to all of us um, how strange it is that um, we don't have contact with extraterrestrials. And you can look it up, Google it, Fermi paradox. What do we really want to tell you? Well, everyone has heard of Roswell, late 1940s, where supposedly there was a crash of an extraterrestrial craft. Is it true or disinformation? What else do we know? Well, I don't know. We've had so many different versions of Star Trek, Star Wars, all kinds of sci fi stuff, but we don't have any contact with people who are from off planet. Why is that? Why is it that we can dream up amazing things that could go on in space, but as far as we know, we don't really do anything in space? A few robot probes, very seemingly primitive. Why is it that we're so stuck in reverse? In other words, why don't we have a massive space program? Why aren't we exploring anymore? It seems like for children, it's not very exciting. What's really going on? There's lots of books. You can go to the library or online stores, and there's all kinds of people who talk about UFOs, extraterrestrials, but there's nothing official. There's nothing that's taught in our schools. In other words, nothing has the government seal of approval to be taught about extraterrestrials. And why? If you're a conspiracy nut, you're going to say it's because the government is in touch with extraterrestrials and they're keeping us in the dark on purpose. And this has been going on since, before 1950. So it's been 70 years. You can't even get President Trump to talk about it. What world leader will talk to you and say anything? Are they kept in the dark too? I mean, the answer is it is true. We are being kept in the dark. Why? Because it's someone's agenda. Every reason has an agenda behind it. What do I mean by agenda? Someone is controlling the situation, usually for their own benefit. How many people control a situation for the benefit of everyone? Nobody I know. So you must assume that there is a conspiracy going on. Why a conspiracy? Because that's what we call these things. A conspiracy is when you have a group of people who are secretly manipulating things for their own benefit. It's not that really big of a jump and in anyone's mind to imagine that there are people who do this, because we know in our own little worlds that there's always a manipulator, at least one, often many. So that's your answer. Definitely are manipulators and people who put out information and disinformation to keep everyone confused. And if you think of the amount of money that goes through government hands and government agencies, and if you think back to the invention of something like the atomic bomb, the Manhattan Project, Governments know how to keep secrets and how to develop things in secret. Um, so it's not a big stretch to imagine that we are being kept in the dark, and we have been for a long time because somebody figures we're not worthy of knowing about it, or that maybe they just like things the way they are. And I usually blame the rich and famous because they're the ones who benefit the most from keeping all the rest of us poor, and them owning everything, collecting rents from us on everything, overpriced everything. And well, so yes, I'm going to tell you that is the way that humans operate. So, what do you want to do about it? We all want a happy ending. I'm supposed to be in the Men in Black department, which is the one that from the movies, deals with extraterrestrials. But if we have a Men in Black department, it's not officially on the government registers. Why? Why is there not a really good investigation into things like 9/11? So many people are convinced that it was shoddy investigations, and independent investigators believe that something is fishy in the 9/11 story and many other stories. Why is it that we have U.S. bases all over the world? Why is the U.S. the world police? Are there stargates on planet Earth like the TV show? And are the U.S. government people trying to capture them so they can use them for themselves? Why do we say this? It's just rumors. They made the TV show. They must have got the idea from somewhere. Some people call this soft disclosure. It's fictional, We show it in a movie, and then people are aware of it, but they think it's just sci-fi. It's not real. Somebody came up with the idea. So the idea is in consciousness. Is it really hard to come up with an idea that's new, that's not real? Yes, it's very hard to come up with something. So let's just go on and we'll say, you who watch these videos are not only in a minority, but you're also in the dark. And no one likes to be kept in the dark. I saw a quote just today that said, essentially, if you love people, you don't keep them in the dark. You let them know what's going on. So the people who are keeping these secrets don't love you. They don't love the people of planet Earth. They love themselves. These are known as service to self entities, and they're usually considered to be the height of evil. So that's what we're dealing with, evil entities who are keeping you in the dark so that they can enjoy and keep you from enjoying. They don't love you. They're never going to love you. These ones are highly toxic, highly dangerous, and need to be exposed. How many more stories about the Vatican do we need to know? The abuse of children that goes on and goes on and goes on and went on for so long. The Vatican is the height of evil, in my opinion. They preach love, but in secret, they've got secrets. They keep the women out. I don't know anything worse than abuse of children. And that's what the Vatican does. And they get so much money from their believers. Why would you go to a church that everyone knows abuses children? Why would you support them? I have family members that are belonging to this church. It's very difficult to convince people you need to walk away from this church and you need to demand they open up all of their information, all of their secrets. Why is it that the Vatican has their own bank? They're supposed to be for the people. Why is there poverty on the earth when the Vatican has unbelievable treasures, unbelievable amounts of money, but they don't want to spend it on the people? What are they saving it for? I'm going to tell you the truth. They spend it on themselves. How many more organizations are corrupt like the Vatican? It's the whole history of planet Earth is nothing but corrupt people and corrupt organizations, racketeering. We talk about it, but nothing seems to ever happen because it doesn't seem like the people have got the teeth to go and bite these people. It's not going to be biting people that's going to make things change. It's going to be all of us raising our consciousness because there are no secrets. And when you raise your consciousness, you become aware of the liars and what they're lying about. And how do you raise your consciousness? The very best way is to go quietly and meditate. Meditate every day as much as you can. That will raise your consciousness, and then you will become aware that you have been lied to and what the lies are. And then you're not depending upon the controlled news media or the governments or any other organization to tell you. Because then, you still don't know if it's true or not. The only way that you're going to know what's true is when you get it yourself by raising your consciousness. I'm Colonel Cliff Soreen. Thanks for tuning in.